Yep, we're back at it again. How you doing? It is a good track. It's very beautiful. So yeah, we're back at it again with Unlimited Saga. The game maliciously made to hate the player on every front. And despite that, I find myself playing this game for some reason. I do not know why. I continuously try to play and understand and try to find the proverbial light within the darkness of this thing. I don't know. Maybe it's the music. Maybe it's the music because that is bar none probably the highlight of Unlimited Saga, as you've heard. That's just the character theme for like the first character, Laura. I don't know if she's the first character, but I think that's kind of what they were going for in terms of in terms of the hero roster. But it's such a beautiful theme. Like it's just like I can't help like feel like I'm going to cry at any moment when it gets to that later half in the track. It's such a beautiful track. And a lot of the music in this game is very well done. The composer for the game, shit, I forgot his name. Let me bring it back up again. Well, let me just in the background here. In the background. No, let's not play it again. We're going to be hearing that track quite a lot as we play today. Composer Masashi Ham, Masashi Hamauzu. That is that is not an easy to say name on my end. But that is the composer for Unlimited Saga, and he's got quite a track record, at least from a glimpse from what I saw on YouTube when I was looking up Laura's theme from the game. Um, I'll have to deep dive into that even more to see what other games and stuff he has composed. But very high tier stuff, very good feels. It's it matches Laura from what little story I've gotten out of her when playing Unlimited Saga. It's like a sad romantic tragic kind of theme with a little bit of hope inside of it because she's lost her husband and she's mourning, and then all of a sudden some assholes are chasing Prince Henry, and she gets into a fight and saves him, and is now put in this whirlwind journey of trying to get this guy wherever the hell he needs to go. So, needless to say, the music is beyond fitting, which is what you should do when you're making music for a game. But anyways, I'm rambling on enough, glazing this game about its music. Uh, I have also deep dived into the mechanics of this fucking game, trying to find what the magic formula is, the saving grace, the thing that would allow someone to just get the advantage and conquer this game and make it its bitch. And I gotta say, fucking hell. I don't know what the SaGa director was smoking on when he made this game, but he sure as fuck went out of his way to make this game as brutal and malicious as possible. And I am also highly tempted to like I guess this might also factor into the reason why I'm going to be playing this fucking game still, is that I kind of want to record the journey of me trying to beat this game. and just showing how fucking absurd it is and trying to understand this creature of a game. Because, like I said earlier in the last stream, like there is some good stuff in this game. There is potential. There are good systems in here, but they are implemented in such a malicious or haphazard way or something that it becomes just unbearable, and it's a frustrating ordeal because you're not given enough information as a player. And I've confirmed with somebody who apparently has access to the game manual for this game that that the manual itself does not give you any further clarification on the systems within this game that are, needless to say, kind of important to know. And oh geez, as I'm clicking buttons here, don't worry, I am getting the game up. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not just going to be me ranting. Well, it's going to be me ranting, but I digress. Yeah, get rid of that. Put the chat over here. There we go. Thank you, OBS. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, that's what we want. All right. So, but we got to understand the mentality that was going on here as to why this game is what it is. And that is, for whatever reason, the director wanted to make this game play out like a tabletop game. And that's kind of obvious when you look at how the game is when you're doing quests. You have like it's very bare bones looking. You have a vaguely drawn map, and and your character is represented by what looks like to be a pewter play piece. And as you're going through the game and stuff, your actions are determined by skills and stuff that that character has, and you have to activate them by going to your skin menu, your skill menu, and using them on particular things that are in that section of map that you're standing in. It like I said, it tries to play itself like a D&D game. And, that's not bad. That's not too bad. But it has been done much better by other games. More specifically, Crimson Shroud for the DS. That is a super solid game that plays itself like a tabletop game. Wait, not the DS, the 3DS. It's on the 3DS. It also kind of reminds me, this character right here, the little chipmunk kind of character. I remember seeing a video about Unlimited SaGa, and the guy who was playing it, or trying to examine it, or just rant about it or something, he started out with that character, the little chipmunk guy. And that is perhaps the worst character to play as for your first time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No. No. No, 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 no. Oh no, don't do this. Don't do this, controller, please. No. Please don't. Please do not die on me. Okay. Alright. Did we save it? Did we save it? Looks like we saved it. I saved it. Yep, I saved it. I have saved the fucking broadcast. Oh, fuck. Right, so literally everything on my fucking laptop died. My Wi-Fi died, the controller died, The will to live died. Its pet goldfish also died. I don't know how it had one of those, but it did. Everything died. And then I cast Benediction. Which is to say, I restarted the whole fucking thing. Thankfully, that didn't take too long. Oh, jeez. Alright. Where the fuck was I? Oh, right. Unlimited SaGa. Let me get that back up. I don't even remember what I was saying. I don't even know if... Gee, you know what? I should probably check. I should check the back end. Let me look at... YouTube Studio. Because I don't know if this is, like, going to screw up the entire stream, or if it, like, erased the beginning or something. I don't even know if I can check that right now if I wanted to. I don't know if I can do that. Can I do that? Live. Is it gonna be like... No? Okay. Alright. Okay. No, it looks like looks like that won't happen. I guess I'll find out in the final product, and if it, cuts out everything, I'll be quite angry. So maybe it's in my best interest that I turn on the recording function on OBS. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I'll have OBS record right now, just in case. Just in case YouTube decides to error out and glitch and completely delete the rebooted stream for some reason. Can't trust YouTube worth a damn, honestly. Also, do you hear the thing where it's like, instead of like 3,000 view hours to get monetization, it's now like 3 million or some shit? Like, I mean, I didn't want to get monetization anyways, but I appreciate YouTube making it even harder for me to do that. Oh, man. Alright, do you remember what I was saying, Chad? What was I talking about before I completely lost connection? While you're thinking on that one, I'm going to update chat on OBS so it can display the live chat and not the top chat. There we go. Okay. So, fuck, I can't remember what I was saying. Alright, so, oh yeah, I was talking about how the game was, like, supposed to be like D&D and shit. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be played. And every character has kind of like their own kind of quest gimmick going on. Laura's more of like, kind of, I guess, the traditional RPG quest, you could say, sort of. Ventus here is pretty much Lunar Dragon Song, where you're a fucking courier. And funny enough, Ventus is perhaps the best character in terms of getting strong in this game. Because, well, let me kind of break it down for you about how you get strong in Unlimited SaGa. Now, if you remember from last stream how I explained how the progression goes, where you don't gain stats as you kill things. Well, technically you do, but you don't get them immediately. You get your stat gains at the end of completing a quest. Depending on how many actions you've taken in battle against when you're fighting monsters will determine how much HP gain you get for that character. And aside from that, your stats are determined by growth panels that you randomly get at the end of a quest. Those panels are your skills, and they are also your stats. And you place them on a panel grid for your character, which you have 8 panels on your grid where you can put panels onto. That's a lot of panels. And where you place these panels on your panel grid will determine the stats that get boosted. And this shit is mildly complicated. Because if you put your panels in, you know, a spot that doesn't really give you good stat gains or whatever, then you know, it's like you still get stat gains, but it's kind of shitty stat gains. It does sound complicated, yeah. And honestly, it's a good system in theory. Where it stops being a good system is when you have all those panels filled. Because also in this panel system, if you place panels in certain positions on the grid, it activates a bonus if it meets the requirements, which is cool. That gives it a bit of a customization strategic feel. But that goes out the window because you cannot rearrange or replace your panels once they're placed. So if you have your panels filled out, the next time you complete a quest, you have to replace one of those panels with a new panel. And it could be a better panel, or it could be a worse panel. You do not keep panels at all. They don't go into a magic inventory bag that you can take out later and customize your character with. That would have been the smart thing. But they don't do that in this game. So you have to pray to God, to the RNG gods, that your growth panels are good, and then replace them with whatever your worst skill or stat thing is. But if you already have an optimized build, then you gotta pray to God that the next thing that you get doesn't completely screw your character over and make them useless or weak. And then you gotta hope that the next quest you complete might get you that panel that you replaced earlier so you can put it back in. But wait! It gets even worse. So, it's bad enough that your panels can't be arranged, so you have to really think ahead in how you place your panels if you want to get those placement bonuses. And you also need to super think ahead in terms of if you even get the panels that you want to place in those spots for bonuses. And also, you know, just the cherry on top, to plan yourself ahead so that you can be in the best optimal position to be able to take on the final boss and whatever else lies in the end game. You got all that going for you. But it gets even worse, because you know how I said that quests are the only thing that gets you stat progression, HP and stats from the growth panels. You have to complete quests in order to get those bonuses, those growths. Quests are not infinite. They are finite. Once you complete a quest in this game, it is gone for good. It is over. It is done with. You cannot go back to that map. You cannot go there to grind enemies or anything. There is no area in this game that you can go into and just mercilessly grind enemies into the dust like you would any other RPG. You have to beat quests to get stats in this game, and the quests are limited, which means that your options, your chances to get the growth panels that you need to make a good character build in this game are finite, limited, and at the absolute fucking mercy of the RNG gods. If that isn't malicious game design, I don't know what is. But that's where we circle around to what I was saying earlier with Ventus here. Ventus is perhaps the best fucking character to start out with. And you want to know why? Because he has infinite quests. Asterisks. And by that I mean, because he's a fucking carrier. And since he is a carrier in this game, he has access to the Carriers Guild, which presents him with carrying jobs, of which you travel across the maps from point A to point B. And when you get to point B, you turn in your quest and you get money. But because it is, in fact, a quest, you get stat gains. That's right. Ventus is the literal first character you should be playing in this game. If only because you can actually grind out the game like a typical RPG. You just have to do carrier missions, which are infinite. Whereas everyone else in this game cannot use the Carrier Guild because they're not a member of the guild. So therefore, they don't get access to the carrier missions. They have to get whatever's in the inn, and that's it, on top of their story missions. And if you have the worst luck imaginable, like I tend to, and get the worst fucking panels in existence, and have a shitty character build by the time you reach the end game, fuck you. At least, that is my theory. That is my logistical theory, because I have never beaten this game, I've never played it. Except for the past couple days I've been playing it offline and on stream. So, again, we're back to just how maliciously structured this game is. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Because there is a way to grind this game. There is a way to get stronger without the stat gains. And again, it's with the quests, because that's your only means of traversing a map, fighting monsters, and all that jazz. So, how you get stronger in this game, and we're going to go with Laura again.
What do you think you're looking at? Come any closer to me and you'll get hurt.
I'm looking at you, girl. So, the way you can grind out this game, and like a typical RPG, or at least help yourself get...
This is Niva Kalina. It is the hamlet where I first met Laura. The funeral of her husband, Pablo, has just ended. But it was a funeral without a body. Her beloved Pablo died in an accident while traveling.
Sad day for Pablo.
Only his glasses were left behind. The cracked lenses gave little clue as to Pablo's fate.
So anyways... So anyways... The way we can grind out stuff in this game is through the quests. Now, that is to say, completing the quest is not what you want to do. What you want to do in regards to the quests is you do not want to complete your quests. At least certain quests. And let me tell you why. Because there are certain quests that you can fail. These are mostly the quests that have a turn limit on them. So, every time you do an action, every time you move, every time you take 5 attacks in battle, that takes up a turn in the overall world. And once the turn limit has been reached in a quest that has a turn limit, the quest fails and you're sent back to the village. Now, there is a penalty to failing a quest. A singular penalty. 2 if you really want to stretch
What do you think?
it. Excuse me. The penalty for failing a quest, aside from having to redo it over again, is, well, you don't get your HP and growth stats. That's right. Because you have to complete a quest in order to get your HP and your growth panels, well, if you fail a quest, you didn't complete it, so therefore you don't get your HP and you don't get your growth stats. But you do keep your treasures and the skills you've learned on your equipment and your attacks. That's right. So, any treasure that you found, all the chromer, all the items that enemies have dropped, any magic tablets you just happen to have found, dropped from an enemy, any equipment that you happen to be finding in chests or on enemies or from events, you keep all of it, even if you lose the quest. So in essence, if you want to grind in this game, and get yourself set up for victory, and also kind of kit yourself out on good equipment and shit, you just find a quest that has some pretty fucking good loot in it, fail it repeatedly, and take all the fucking loot that you can. Which, you know, that's pretty cool. I don't know if that was intended, but if it is, thanks, I guess. Playing it smart. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now you see, most people, most players, probably would not think of that because failing is often not a thing most gamers want to think about. We want to avoid failing. We want to avoid dying. We want to avoid failing the quest because we think if we fail the quest, we're not going to get the rewards and we're going to get punished for it. But in this case, you don't get punished, outside of not getting your HP gains and not getting your growth panels until you actually beat the quest. And so long as you do not beat a quest, it will always be in that particular inn that offers that quest. So get yourself a quest that has like 150 plus turn limit or something, and just run across the map willy-nilly, kill monsters, hopefully spark some new attacks for your character, and unlock more abilities on your equipment, get lots of fucking chromer, and just build yourself up. And I think that is the key strategy. And in fact, I believe it is the key strategy, at least according to Grok, in how to effectively bend this game over your knee and slap it on the ass and call it Susie. You see, this is what I talk about, the Carriers Guild. If we were Ventus, we could go here to get a quest. But since we're not a carrier, fuck us. So there's other little systems in here that I want to go over to a degree. And one is the equipment and the materials. Which is to say, all the equipment, well, they have skills attached to them, as we mentioned in the previous stream. And they have stuff like heal +5, or life preservation, or, you know, other little fun things, as well as attack skills for the weapons. And of course, as mentioned before, weapons have durability. But durability can be fixed by going to a blacksmith and pretty much repairing an item by sacrificing another weapon or by sacrificing materials like fangs and mullock and serpentine stones and opals and other shit like that. And the blacksmithing system is also a fundamental thing in ensuring that you are a murder machine in this game. Now when it comes to durability in this game, you can max out your durability on a weapon up to 99. And you just do that by simply fucking going to the blacksmith and dumping materials and shit into it until it reaches 99. At least I believe that's how it works. We'll find out eventually. But there's also the matter of magic in this game. Sporg and Borgle into our cave snail. Hi Eric, how you doing? So we don't really have an adventure going for us in this particular inn. We just have the main quest. Now, let's see what happens if we try leaving town. Because, no, it was I, our cave snail, your translator thing, dumbass. Oh. Exactly. So, when leaving town, you may notice that we don't go to, well, we do go to a world map, but not your typical world map. We go to this world map, which doesn't have anything on it because we haven't visited any towns. But essentially, this again backs what I said earlier, that quests are the only way to go out and grind shit. Orgle Borgle because Cave Snail is a reference to the old Flash-based Metrovania. Ah! So, when trying to leave a town without doing a quest, then you can just go to any town you want free of charge, which, that's useful in itself.
Pablo.
Oh shit, I think they profile you, Chaz. They see you walk in. Some suspicious characters here. Something's up. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, here we are, quest screen. I've already explained the, why we're here, because we're on a quest. In order to do shit in a quest, because this plays like a D&D game, at least that was the intention by the director, you can do actions. Actions cost turns. And as you see, we do not have a turn limit. So, there you go. You also notice it says unable to use Road Guide. Road Guide is a skill certain characters have that allow you to search the surroundings for treasure chests and other things. There are also different variations of that skill for inside buildings and inside caves. Those skills are not essential to finding treasure chests and stuff, because sometimes you can just run into them willy-nilly. And, as you can see, we ran into a beast. But nothing has happened because we haven't triggered a fight. You can trigger a fight if the monsters straight up attack you on sight, or you can click action and immediately go to fight the monster and get a preemptive strike sometimes. Plays like a flaming pile of ass. I don't give a fuck what the dev's intention is. Their incompetence assures there is 0% chance it plays in their session of D&D. Yeah, I know. I mean, their intention was to play this like D&D like it was a tabletop board game. The aesthetics lean towards that, and I think probably developer interviews or something. Unfortunately, they kind of failed on the delivery aspect because they made a complicated flaming pile of shit, as you've mentioned. But it can be worked through, and I intend to try still. Until I literally woke up from my old man nap after dinner less than 10 minutes ago. So we're gonna attack this guy because we need to attack.
Step back, little man.
I shall join you.
Grants and comas can be worked through too. The suggestion is that you don't. So let's do a little more in-depth about battles since I didn't quite explain. You get 5 action points, and you can switch to any character in your party to do an attack or magic. There are no items in-game, so there's no healing items, except for one instance, which we may or may not come across. So the only way you can heal is on the world map or through healing magic, should you have it. As far as battling goes, you can use fisticuffs, you can use your weapons, and you can use magic if there is any magic attached to your equipment. And yes, casting magic costs durability on your equipment. However, there is an exception to this. And that exception is if you have a familiar. Unfortunately, familiars have limited magic on them, and they may not have all the magic that you may want to use. Cancer. You see, there are a few ways on how to get magic in this game. One is through equipment that has magic skills attached to it. Those have limited uses and durability. The other way is to use familiars who have their own set of spells, but those spells may or may not be useful, and of course it's not the full range of spells for that element. The third way is to permanently learn magic by getting magical tablets that you may find during your battles with certain monsters or events, in which you study the tablet, you learn the spell, and it's yours. However, you cannot cast the spell unless you have either a familiar that can use that spell, or you have a piece of equipment that has the elemental art attached to it. Now, once again, further expounding on this, there's a split in this, because as I mentioned, casting a spell with magic on it reduces its durability. There is a way to circumvent this. You can repair the item. But that is complicated in itself, because if you try to just repair an item with a magic art on it, it will erase the magic art. So you can't normally repair a magic enhanced item. You can, however, do this with a skill called Quick Fix, but it only repairs items if they're under 19 durability. Or if you have the Recycle spell, which is a wood spell that can only repair items if they're under 30 durability. This is overly fucking complicated, as you can tell. But wait, there is a much better, much simpler, much more less mind-numbing solution, and that is to create your own magic item. By going to the blacksmith and creating a piece of gear with a bestial stone, which will give you that particular fire art, onto the equipment, it will circumvent the whole we erase your magical ability thing when repairing your items, and you can just repair that like normal. So, to sum it all up, if you want to be a magic caster, you need to forge yourself your own item with a bestial stone that has that particular element of spells you want. And you also need to find a magic tablet of the elemental spell arts you want to learn, and learn that tablet. And then you can cast magic and repair your conduit, if you will, forever. I believe a quote from The Binding of Isaac applies here, Chaz. Cancer. Yay, cancer. But I got off track there. So aside from magic, there is also your normal attacks, which, as you can see here, has an HP cost and an EN cost. EN is basically the durability of your weapon. I had taken a picture of me grabbing a cancer item, and buddy, I used it to send the picture back and forth each other. Have you ever seen the Paper Mario meme, where it's like it got translated like 30 million times between Chinese and English, and it shows Mario getting an item out of getting like that shadow power up from the curse guy, and it said, "You got a disease." There's some video playthroughs where people did that, where they just played Thousand Year Door, but the script was like translated like a bunch of times through Google Translate between Chinese, English, and several other languages, and it's just the most unhinged shit you've ever seen. It's amazing. Like, try looking up an image search of Paper Mario, "You got a disease," and you'll probably find the meme I'm talking about. But yeah, anyways, attacks cost HP, and as you would imagine, using punches, kicks, and throws costs HP as well, more HP than just using your weapon. But I suppose that is the price you pay for using your fists instead of a dagger. But yeah, melee is pretty much your last resort, unless you want to become a monk, because of the whole durability thing. But it looks like the durability thing is easily circumvented if you combine the strategy I mentioned earlier about grinding and failing adventures. So, you know what? I'm just gonna go fisticuffs on him. Now, as I said earlier, your actions, the number of actions your character does in battle before you reach the end of your quest determines how much HP you're going to get. So, if you want your characters to get HP, you kind of have to split your attack turns between them. And the best way to do that is to get them in the combos as well. But the thing about combos is it depends on a bunch of bullshit in regards to turn order, speed, etc., etc. And you have no clue how this works outside of learning the enemy patterns. Wow, good job. And the only basic rule about battles: in common battles, enemies have about usually 1 to 2 turns. Boss battles, they tend to have 3 to 7 turns. Well, they tend to have up to 7 turns, and stronger enemies go up to like 3 or so turns. So we should be able to combo. Yep, there we go. We can combo all this. And of course, combos give you the nice benefit of boosting your attack. And it's very satisfying when you get a combo off. Wish I could stay up more, but getting sleepy. Good night, peeps. I'll watch the rest of the video tomorrow morning. Alright, thanks for visiting, Derp Derp. So, to basically sum up, the way you can kind of progress. I tried finding a GIF of it, but could not, so I sent you what I thought was the best one available. Okay. I'll look at that. Bug Fables fans, would you try recommending them a good time? That's good. Here, I think I can find it. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Paper Mario. Oh my... I fucking hate when my keyboard switches out the comma with the slash. That's so annoying. You got a disease. Meme. Images. It's like the very first thing in image search for me. Here, let me copy that. I'll throw it at you, Eric. You search the GIF on... It's not a GIF, it was just a meme image. I probably should have made myself clear. Yep, and there we go. This bitch had 3 attacks. So that's what happens when your combo gets interrupted. You still do damage to the enemy, but they get the brunt of the damage bonus when it comes to their attack. So usually it's not a good idea to get your combos fucked up if you can avoid it. But if you do, it's not entirely the end of the world because of how the HP system works. Oh, speaking of which, press L3 or R3 to rest. Or stand by, as it says. This will heal you by a percentage of your HP, depending on your character's healing ability. You can improve your healing ability by getting certain equipment that improves that healing ability. This is useful if you're not on a turn limit. This is not useful when you have a turn limit on your quest, unless you're purposely grinding that quest, in which case, have fun. I have found that a piece of the puzzle in terms of trying to enjoy this game without going insane is to, well, kind of play it like Dwarf Fortress in that failure is inevitable. Hey, there we go. Learn to throw skill. Nice. Now, you probably noticed that was the combo interruption thing. So, I think in that regards, we interrupted their combo. So we get that bonus. So the rules apply to both of us in this regard. We can interrupt their combos if they make one, and they can interrupt our combos. and whoever interrupts gets the damage bonus. Now, there's something I noticed that I'm going to point out here, and that is particular monsters. There are certain monster types that will just notice you, even if you put on the hide from enemies skill, which I forgot to put on. Wildlings, wildlings, undead, and demons can pick you out immediately. Wildlings kind of have a small margin of error to them, but for the most part, they will notice your ass, even if you're running the enemy hiding ability. Excuse me, my nose is like fucking plugged. Damn it. Now you're probably wondering, why are you throwing all the time, Chaz? Well, that's because throw has a chance to stun enemies, and that's kind of useful. Of course, I'm not succeeding in any of this. Damn, this guy's a fucking tough guy. I might as well get some kicks out of him. What a dick. Now, the HP system. I was going to get in this, but then I trailed off. So, you may have noticed that when we were getting attacked, despite, if you were keeping track of how much damage we were taking, and you notice the HP meter, well, we can get to 0 HP, but we don't die. And that's because of the little thing right there called the LP, the life points. I think I covered this briefly in the previous stream, but life points is your real HP. Once that hits 0, your character's fucking dead. And there is absolutely no way to recover your life points while you're on a quest. The only way you can recover life points is by completing a quest and reaching a town, or if you have a specific item that is only found at the very end of the fucking game called a Tetraforce, which allows you to save anywhere and recover your HP and LP and other shit. At least that's what I read. So for all intents and purposes, your HP is basically your shield, and your LP is your physical lifeline. Pretty much like Halo. You know how Master Chief has the fucking shield, and then you only get hit a few times, and then you're fucking dead. That's pretty much it. That's the best way to put it. So if you want to avoid having your life points drained to the point of dying in the quest and dying in real life, you want to have as much HP as possible. Or at least keep your HP as high as possible, or be so fucking good at this game that you can kill monsters before they even have a chance to fucking kill your HP. Or you can have equipment that has the life preservation ability attached to it, which will increase the odds of your life points being safe and unharmed from attacks. But to make this even more bullshit, is that certain enemies can also just attack your life points directly, just like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Those enemies are birds, and to a degree, certain weapons and stuff carried by humanoid-type enemies like those wildlings. You noticed he was fucking slashing us, and we were still losing fucking life points despite having HP in it, I think? Yeah, certain attacks can just strike your HP, your life points. So, yeah, it's a HP management thing, just like Lunar Dragon Song, and we just went in circles. So let's see, can I? No, I can't go back. Okay. Ah, there's our boss. Come on. Nice deflect. What a dick. Pff, come on, Henry. Come on, Henry. Okay. Okay. That was silly. That was silly. Absolutely silly. Alright, let's not go that way. Let's also heal. Oh. Oh, okay. Sometimes I wonder. Funny enough, we have not encountered any treasure chests, so... Insects! Come on, I want to learn some kicking maneuvers. Nice. This just in. Chaz wants mod privileges to kick people. I just want some kicking skills. I want to do a rider kick or something. I must get all the attack skills. Slime, slime.
You gonna stand there or put up a fight?
That's with Edward as my hero. And fully 4 party members. That didn't do any damage. Kicking does not seem to hurt the slimes, it seems. That's a problem. About punching. Does punching work? Punching does not work. Try elemental or piercing damage. You're probably right in that regard. Well, in that case, I guess we're using our Kniff. There we go. Well, that was an unfortunate waste of life points. See? Now you're noodling. Oh my goodness. Easily, the worst thing about this game is the fucking slot machine. Excuse me, I am not done exploring this area. What's that? Couldn't hear you over your constant masturbation about how much you love the slot machine. Why are you lying? Oh my goodness. You fucking kidding me? It's called being intentionally obtuse, and I have it down to an art form. Of course. I'm going to, going to trigger my, enemy avoidance. Not that it's going to help. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't mean to have Henry hide in the background. Oh my goodness. Yes! I did it! Faithfully, the slot machine does have a pattern. So if you can lock the fuck in, recognize the pattern, and recognize when you're supposed to press that button, then it's not too bad. Good luck. Also, I am the absolute worst when it comes to exploring, because I always end up finding the correct path. And then when it comes to games like this, where if you find the correct path, then you just leave the map and you can't explore it any further. Case in point. Alright, so we've completed the quest. So this is where we get our 4 randomized growth panels. We can learn to Maharaja level 2, which we can buy an item at an expensive price to show off at the store. Why would we want to do this? I don't fucking know. We get ourselves a level 2 fire familiar, which is useful in the early term. We can learn how to swim level 2, which shrug. Or we can get road guide level 2, which which the fire familiar has. So that's kind of a moot point in and of itself. So the question is, where would we want to put that? Well, fire is over here. And I don't want to get rid of locksmith because that's our only means of looting shit. Eavesdrop we can probably get rid of, but that's when we can, get something that's more appropriate to fit over there. Ura is useful in its own right, and Diffuse is also equally useful because it allows us to disarm traps and not get murdered. So I think I'm going to get the Fire Familiar, because that's kind of like having 2 of these in one. Alright, and Henry has got Sword Arts Diplomacy, which negotiates various deals, including against enemies, as well as Diffuse level 2, which could be useful. This is a bad fucking roll, honestly. I think he has, yeah, he already has Diplomacy, so the smart move would be to just give him Diplomacy level 2 to match up with that skill. But as I explained in the previous stream, where you place these panels, well, I also explained here as well earlier, where you place these panels will affect your stat gains depending on what thing you put into these panels. And all of these things give different stat bonuses. Like if I replace diplomacy, I'll get more strength and endurance, but I'll lose a little bit of wood. How much armor? Timing's really yeah, of course. And because we lose wood, well, that's just insert your joke here. Or if we got swimming and we placed it there, well, it'd be the same thing. But if we placed it in an area which I think water would be better, maybe, possibly. Just straight up 15 spirit if we put it over there. 15 skill if we placed it here. And SWAT arts. For some reason that gives us a ton of magic if we put it there. 10 strength, 10 endurance. No negative if we replace diplomacy with sword. What is the game trying to tell us here? But yeah, I think I'll just upgrade diplomacy. That seems like the smart thing, because then that we still have our open spots to put something much better in those open spots. Because diplomacy might be useful later. I'm not sure how, but there's apparently I don't know. Maybe we can negotiate some deals with merchant or something, or an enemy. Who knows? but why not upgrade a skill? And for all our trouble, we got nearly 30 HP for Henry, and same deal for Laura. So, woohoo. So here is the blacksmith. There are 4 blacksmiths in the game, and they all have their own little specialties and quirks. In this case, the blacksmith in Wanda is a rare blacksmith that can handle guns. What it doesn't tell you is that they're also good with a particular other thing, which I think was just durability increasing? I'm not certain. Let me look it up here. Grokathy. I was talking to you about this earlier. Alright, let me see. Blacksmith. Ah, there we go. Alright, so Wanda's specialty is guns. They're good at releasing abilities, and the only one that works on guns. They also give durability bonuses to bows and accessories, and they handle daggers, axes, bows, and guns and accessories when making stuff. And the other places have their own special abilities. Longshank works is kind of unique in that if you're playing one of the other characters, it depends on his abilities because he's the blacksmith guy. In Gadaria, that's the best place to get durability gains for weapons, and Vaftum has the best drawing out and releasing ability traits. Now, what is releasing and drawing out? Well, that's those are the abilities on your equipment. You can, I suppose, you can open those up without having to kind of grind your face against enemies. Maybe? Question mark? Alright, so we got ourselves 2 adventures that I believe we went through in the last stream. Rather haphazardly. At least I think we did? I don't know. But both of these have a term limit on it. Have a turn limit. Did I say term or turn? Who cares? It has a limit. So we can effectively fail these quests. Or at least one of these quests. And in these spots, we can hoard up treasure and grind ourselves into the dust to get stronger, get richer, get items and stuff to improve our gear and make it absurdly strong and powerful. That kind of thing. At least, I'm not certain about the Luminous Stone quest. Because it's like a competition, so if we fail, do we just straight up fail? Or does it only complete if we actually win the quest? You know what? That's a good question. Let me ask Grokathy about that. Alright. In Unlimited SaGa... It's funny. Unlimited SaGa is the greatest of fake news. It implies that there is something unlimited about this game. when in fact the game is extremely limited. Unlimited SaGa. God, I cannot spell. An unlimited SaGa for in a unlimited SaGa, the quests in the quest Lumina Stone. Do I have to actually get more than 9 stones to complete the quest? Or will the quest complete regardless? Quest complete regardless of how many stones I get. Since it's a competition. Competition, narrative-wise. Okay, woof. That felt good. I blew my nose there for a second. Let's see, you need at least 9 Lumistone sources, vary slightly between at least 9. More than 9 or after 10 to properly complete the quest and get the inventor's reward. Returning with fewer means you don't win the competition. It's framed as a timed race competition among adventurers to gather as many luminous stones as possible in the Black Desert and return to the start exit before the turn limit, 81 turns. Whistles mark the halfway point. Exit opens. Near the end, missing the exit disqualifies you and fails the quest. Okay, so yeah. Okay, that kind of answers it. Stones are mostly on the ground. Examine to pick them up. Extras and NPCs. Group hands over 3. Oh man. I hate my mouse wheel. Let's reach the exit in time with enough stones for a successful clear and reward. So we can grind that quest. Okay, good to know. We'll do that because that is probably the safer quest to grind. Because the Night Desert quest is very unsafe to grind. Because there is a boss monster that roams the place and attacks you like every so often. And I don't think I can feasibly reach the turn limit in that quest without getting mauled by the fucking tiger, because that motherfucker is so strong. The retired, yada yada yada, inventor, luminous stones, pick them up, get there before the whistle, yada yada. Go! Alright, so, as I mentioned earlier, there is a way to grind in this game. And I mentioned the process of which it goes. So long as you fail a quest, it will not disappear, because quests are limited in this game. Once you complete a quest, it is gone. You cannot go back to that map. You cannot grind out that map on willy-nilly. You cannot reload the game in some strange esoteric fashion that makes the quest reappear in the fucking quest list. Once it's complete, it's over and done with, and you can never deal with it again. And of course, this means, as a result, your ability to grow your character in the way you want to is very limited, because it depends on how many quests are in the game for that character. And also your RNG for getting those growth panels. I'm going to dive the lunar subterrane now. What I'm about to do to those critters therein will be written about as a cautionary tale against pissing off humans throughout history. Good job, Eric. I'm stupid. Tongue, how do I work? And also, as I mentioned, in regards to quests completing, if you fail a quest, the quest does not go away. The only penalty for failing a quest is that you do not get HP gains, and you do not get growth panels until you complete that quest. However, you do keep all the money you find, all the items you find, any and all skills that you've learned from doing attacks, any skills that your equipment has unlocked from just doing battles, and any item drops that the enemies just happen to drop, or from events that you happen to cross by. So, in essence, if you want to grind up shit, become rich, become filthy rich, and kit your gear out to the maximum possible that you possibly could, your best bet is to find a quest with a turn limit, like this one, 81 turns, and just go treasure hunting. Find chests, open them, take the booty within, kill the monsters, grind them out until you get all the attacks you possibly can for your weapons or your fists. Enjoy yourself. Don't think about the fact that you're going to fail a quest. Failing is actually progressing in this case, which kind of fits in with the SaGa director's mentality, because he likes to defy RPG conventions. So failing as a means of progression kind of lines up with that, don't it? So as long as we don't get back to the goalpost over here with or without the Luminous Stones, we'll fail the quest, keep all of our filthy loot, and we can try again. Despite the narrative saying that this is a competition that happens once every whatever years. Bird. Are you fucking kidding? I'm sorry, you started talking about booty and I stopped listening and started thinking. Eric, I will send you an image just because of that. If you would like. I'm not gonna force it. I need an adult. Righto. Fucking wildlings. I was promised jiggly bits. Okay. For the jiggly bits. There you go. Oh no, 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 don't, No, game, no! No! My controller! Are you fucking kidding? Are you fucking kidding? Oh, no! Are you fucking kidding? Are you fucking... Oh my fucking god, are you serious? God damn it. I don't know what happened, but I know it's because of the chili bits. I think maybe your computer got pretty fast. No, I set my phone down on the table, and for whatever reason, that decided to piss off my USB connectors and disable the fucking controller, which in turn killed the driver for the controller, which means I need to reset the fucking computer again just to make this piece of shit work. Oh. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. Like I plug it in, the controller lights up, and then it lights off. Fucking... You should get a different controller. I would love to, Eric, but I'm dirt fucking poor and I can't pay my rent. All because my leg decided to get cellulitis. Which ended up with me being on 2 months of FMLA, which is basically non-paid medical leave, and then waiting about a month for the motherfucking short-term disability to get their asses in gear so I can get at least some form of money to pay my goddamn bills, which didn't happen because it took them a month instead of the 5 business days their fucking message machine likes to say. And so that ended up with me being able to pay my rent by the time I got my money, but then I had to pay an extra $200 fucking dollars on top of my rent. Because of the late fees. And then I had the smart fucking idea of deciding that, hey, my leg doesn't hurt, and, I don't know if I'm getting better or not, so let's just, let's try going back to work and seeing if I'm actually work capable. And because I decided to do that, work has put me on limited hours for the next 2-ish months, of which I start from of which I started from 2 hours a day the first week I came back to 3 hours the next week, 4 hours the next week. I'm now at the whatever week right now where I'm up to 5 hours per day for the week. And of course, because I'm on those limited hours, it affects my fucking pay, which means I can't pay my rent and my fucking bills. Again. It's... Yeah. Yeah. But thankfully, my property manager's a pretty cool guy. And he's like, okay, I'll work with you. Pay what you can. And we'll deal with the late fees and stuff later or whatever. So that's the plan going forward right now until I'm back on full time, which theoretically I should be able to get back to normal if my calculations are accurate on what my money will be the next few weeks until I reach that point in time, which is the end of September, I think. And if it isn't, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. When I get a chance, I'll help you next chance. Surely you'll understand. I mean, much appreciated, but I'm not gonna force it on anybody here. Especially now, all the most expensive bills are coming up next month. Got about Yeah, I understand that. Like that's why I'm not going to. That's why I'm like, that's why I'm not doing hardcore begging. I never do that anyways. You don't tell me what to do. You will sit down and eat your meat, or you can't have any pudding. To quote my wife, shut up, you face. Okay, hang on. I'm going to. I guess we're playing by keyboard and mouse at this point, so let me just let me adjust that. Let me adjust that. Bindings, settings, automatic mapping for keyboard. Mom taught her that. That was one of her earliest lessons in English. She gave. That's it. That's a good. That's it. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good one. All right. All right. Face buttons. Okay, that's the triangle. What the fuck are these? I don't understand any of this. Okay, keyboard up. Okay, yeah, arrow keys. Makes sense. All right, left analog. We don't have a left analog. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. This game Oh fuck. Oh fuck. This game differentiates between the plus pad and the analog stick. Oh fuck. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. I was gonna use WASD as like the triangle and all that other shit, but now that I got the analog sticks to worry about, that makes things a lot more complicated. A lot more complicated. Fuck. I can't really play PS2 games without a controller, it seems. And because of the fucking USB shenanigans, fucking hell. God damn it. God fucking damn it. Oh, if I had a proper fucking PC and not this MacGyver setup I have with a laptop, it'd probably be another thing altogether. Um, Shit. Well, never mind that, I guess. Never mind that. Okay then. Well, why is it showing my fucking mouse? I thought I disabled that. Jeez. Okay. Well, do you have a PlayStation controller? Like 4 or 5 maybe? No. I don't have I have PlayStation controllers, but they're for PlayStation 2. Wait. Wait. I do have PlayStation 3 controller, but I don't know if that has USB. Let me go look. dusty. Alright, plug this in. Hopefully this works. Alright, yeah, my PS3 controller, the DualShock 3, does have a USB. Alright. Does it work? That is the question. Okay, it's flashing. Controller connected, PS3 controller, Settings, controller, port 1. DualShock 2, settings, mapping, PS3 controller, yes. Okay. Okay, it's not working. I mean, the thing is flashing. I gotta... How do I make this work? USB port 1. Okay, no, that's something completely different. DualShock 2. Yeah, DualShock. Binding, settings, vert left stick, right stick, analog, sensitivity, motor. Motor. What's up? You're afraid of that. What were you afraid of? Does your computer recognize it as a control? Yeah, it did. It, like, a thing popped up when I plugged it in. Or are you just monkeying with the controls to get things functioning? A thing popped up when I plugged in the controller. It said PlayStation 3 controller. So it should be working. On the controller, the 1, 2, 3, 4 lights are flashing though. So I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing. But let me bring up device manager. That's what you thought. That's what you thought it was. Okay. No, not task manager. I need device manager. Take your time. It's not like we're going anywhere at this point. Alright. Controllers. Hmm. I'm running the shittiest version of Windows 11. Why the fuck can I not find... I'm not seeing it on here. In my device thingy. How annoying. Let's see. Security, safely remove hardware, eject media. It's not what I want to do. Check TP link wireless. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Open devices and printers. Alright, devices. PlayStation 3 controller. And of course, there's no fucking options. There's just remove this device, and that's it. No properties, no nothing. Because Windows 11 is a fucking amazing OS. Alright, what if I just unplug it, plug it back in? Okay, as expected. Ragga. You'd think I'd be able to fucking see it. Used to use Scarlet Crush Productions free program to make mine work. Oh. Alright, Grokathy, maybe you can help us out on this one. How do I make my PS3 controller work on Windows 11? Plugged it in. Plugged it into my USB. It turns on. But the four little lights type, for the love of God. Four little red lights are flashing. System gave me a pop-up that I plugged in 3 controller, but it's not working. What am I missing? Grokathy is such a helpful little guy. You're missing the proper drivers. Windows detects the DualShock 3 over USB, but does not fully support it natively. So the 4 LEDs keep flashing and inputs do nothing. So go to the official GitHub. Okay. Download Nefarious DS8 HID Mini Drivers MSI installer. Run the installer to the moon. For USB only, you usually only need the main driver. Did they literally steal this video's... What? What are you talking about, Eric? Run the installer as administrator and follow the prompts. USB only, you only need the main driver. Grok literally ripped off this video link I sent you in the chat. There's no links in the chat. Links are disabled in YouTube chat. Word for word, this 2.5 mini videos download. Good job. Open the included control app. Run as administrator. Unplug and replug. Okay. Alright. Go to GitHub. Excuse me. Download the latest nefarious DSHI hid mini drivers. So that would be this one. Oh, wait, that's not the major version. Okay, I want the major version. Which one's the major version? Okay, that looks like it. This is a new major. Okay, that's the major release. Found it. Alright, hang on. Let me boot up Discord on the side here. While we're at it, I might as well have some music going too. This is gonna take a while. I should probably also kill the recording. There we go, OBS. Okay. Where's my music? That's fine. It happens. It fucking happens. Though, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens to the PS3 controller too, at some point. I'll procure a newer controller. Yeah, a newer PC would also be great, but at the same time, it's like, with how things are going in the technology sphere, with ID shit and not owning anything anymore and all that, I'm just like, I'm getting real close to just not wanting to, I'm just really close to going full non-techno at some point, when it becomes a point of, is it really worth it anymore? I ain't got that much money. Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna force it on you. I'm not gonna ask people to give me fucking money for a computer unless they really feel like they can donate and shit. I've never forced donations on people. I'm too stubborn to beg and plead like I'm DSP. Shit, what was I doing? Oh, right, downloading things. Downloading the thing. Okay, so where's the download link on here? Compatible with version, okay. The hell? Yeah, I'm looking at the GitHub page and I'm like, okay, so where's the fucking download link, download button? Follow this copyright. Just give me the fucking download button. God damn it. I don't want to know about modern game compatibility. I don't want to know about regarding using whatever. I just want the fucking download link. Where's the goddamn download link? God, I fucking hate complexity. I am so complexity adverse at this point. It's fucking maddening. Facebook drives me up the wall because their user interface is so goddamn convoluted and stupid. They hide shit everywhere. You can't even find the block button on Facebook anymore. It's so fucking retarded. I hate it. I hate technology now. I so fucking hate technology. It is so convolutedly stupid and not simple, and it's not efficient, it's not smart, it's not, I hate it. I hate technology with a passion these days. I fucking hate it. I have become my grandparents. I have become the stereotypical grandparents who look at a fucking calculator and like, back in my day we used a goddamn abacus and it worked just fine. I am at that point in my life right now where I'm like, I look at this shit right now we deal with on a technological level and I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. Who the fuck made this? Why did they make it like this? This is absolutely goddamn insane and asinine. Just where's the fucking download button on this thing? I can't see it. Am I blind? I'm fucking blind. Here, let me just bring up the fucking window. Maybe you can find it. Maybe you can see it, because I sure as hell can't fucking see it. And I'm irritated. I'm more irritated at this than I am with Unlimited SaGa. Unlimited SaGa, I'm having a little bit of fun with it, at least. This, I fucking want to kill something right now. I just want to grab something and strangle it to death, because I'm so fucking irritated with everything. Oh god, now, breathe. Breathe. Focus. Find the internet window button on OBS. There we go. There we go. No, you have become the average frustrated adult human. Everyone is sick of poor UI being foisted upon us. Alright, fucking right. And YouTube. Fucking YouTube. With their stupid ass goddamn... just... their fucking system for copyright and everything. Their fucking application of their own goddamn rules, which they don't even apply to. Like, it's just this... Who thought of this? Who thought of the fucking things that make this fucking website go? Who thought it was a great idea to let a retarded AI run their fucking moderation system? Who thought that was a good idea? Who thought it was a good idea to fucking ding Early Bird on her what the fuck was it? Rihanna Rouge gameplay review, where they dinged her for a 4-second lesbian kiss between the characters. It wasn't even explicit. It wasn't even outside or forbidden on the guidelines for YouTube, but they dinged her for that. And she censored everything else. She made sure the video was in the guidelines, and yet YouTube still fucking dinged her for it. Even though it was in the guidelines that they have printed fucking out for everyone to read. This platform is a fucking joke. I'm raging. I'm so fucking raging right now. Holy shit, it just keeps getting worse. Welcome to the Rage Hour. You have become the... Scroll back up to the top. I will help you for the download button. That's because AI hallucinates shit. Apparently so. Like this one right here is supposed to be the major release. I want the major release. So where's the major release on this version right here, which is the major version? Because all the other versions above this were betas. It's the asshats in charge of YouTube. Yeah, I know. Which is why I'm not sour about the fact that they changed the monetization requirements for partner. And I still continue to be validated in my decision from decades ago to take their offer to becoming a partner and throwing it in their face and saying, fuck you, I ain't doing this. Looks like you need to click that follow this comprehensive guide link. Okay. That's, going back to what I said earlier about, lack of simplicity. I suppose it makes sense in terms of logic. Only work as magic if it's dominant driver for your controller. You have others pre-installed that may need removal. This guide covered with. Do not attempt manual pairing with the Windows built-in methods. What does that mean? Do not attempt to pair a PS2 controller on a Windows via built-in device discovery dialog. Well, I haven't gotten that, so... Got you covered for another 20 minutes, then you need to get another few hours of sleep. No problem. I'll hopefully not be optimal. I hopefully will not be exceedingly stupid and make this longer than 20 minutes. But I think the stream is basically over at this point, whether I succeed at this or not. Alright, this is the current stable version. Make sure your UAC is enabled. What the fuck is the UAC? We'll see. If you want Bluetooth support, no, I don't care for Bluetooth support. Grab the release from GitHub. Was I not just in... I first got stuck in figuring out a CP. It took me nearly an hour and a half to get everything figured out. Oh god. You know what? This is just more simpler to just restart my computer at this point. No, I don't want to deal with an hour of this. I'm better off just restarting my computer and then having the controller work again. Not the PS3 controller, but the Xbox controller. It's okay. You tried. I appreciate that. I don't blame you. I blame technology. I blame the technologies. OBS, where are you? There you are. Well, anyways. Well, I guess that kind of does it for this. I can at least save state this right here. And I can continue my my journey to getting through unlimited SaGa. I'm gonna call it limited SaGa because there is nothing unlimited about this game. It's funny. It's funny because I was rambling about this while I was at work, and I'm like, this game is a fucking misadvertisement in terms of its name, Unlimited SaGa, because there's nothing unlimited about this. The quests are limited, as is your progression methods. Your ability to become strong in this game is extremely limited. It's like this game is not unlimited. But the time you will spend playing this game, trying to master it, trying to beat it, trying to adapt and get through its bullshittery of draconian systems that create said limitations, will be so fucking long that it will probably be the heat death of the universe before you successfully fully beat this game. Unless you're extremely lucky. In which case, yes, this game is unlimited. It's kind of funny too, because it's like when I'm thinking about this game, it's like the systems it has in place, they're not bad if they're implemented correctly. If they weren't so viciously, maliciously draconian. Like, take for instance the growth panel system. It's an interesting system. It has potential for some pretty cool, mildly complex ways to build your character. But it is completely neutered by the fact that you're limited to 8 spaces on the grid, and you're also at the whims of the RNG when it comes to your growth panels, and you have absolutely no way of being able to, at the very bare minimum, move your growth pieces to another spot if you wanted to. You have to, once it's placed, it's set in stone. You can't move it. So the way the growth panel system could be infinitely improved is if the growth panels that you selected from your level up, well, you could put it in a storage of some sort, and then you would have a system, a menu option where, you know, so you can adjust it when you're at the inn. You can just go to your status screen at the inn, and you can adjust your growth panel. And you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go in and I want to build myself as a lockpicking thief, because we're gonna go on some treasure hunts. That's when you dig into your bag of growth panels for that character, and then you can just place them right on the fucking spot. And this would also work into the benefit of the placement bonuses that are in the growth grid. Because if you place panels in a certain position and they match and they're the same type or something, or I don't know how it works, you get stat bonuses for it. But you can't do that unless you're thinking like 20 million steps ahead of yourself, and if the RNG works in your favor. So it's a good system, but it is hampered by the draconian nature of this game. And another thing that would make this game infinitely better in the battle system is if they showed the turn order. Just like Final Fantasy X. It's not like they don't know how to do this. Final Fantasy X came out before this game. How do I know that? Well, because this game has a Final Fantasy X-2 preview on it. So there is no excuse. There's no excuse other than the fact that the director wanted this to be like this. That they couldn't implement a turn order graphic to show you who's going to go next, so that you could more strategically plan out your moves, so you can make full use of the combo system. Something so simple. Okay, your butt moving. Actually starting to feel sleepy, so I should go to bed while I think so. Yeah, you should. As for me, well, I think I'm done ranting. We'll return to this when my controller's working again, which might be tomorrow, provided I don't kill it again. But thanks for enjoying my suffering and trying to explain things, and well, and then my controller breaking. 10-hour shifts are no joke. I fucking believe you on that one, man. I believe you. Well, enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you guys tomorrow or whenever. And, sorry, the jiggly bits broke your controls. Yeah, it did. It did. The Cherry's jiggly bits are too strong for the PC, it seems. Oh. Well, anyways, with that said, the show is over. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time for more suffering. If actual jiggly bits broke the controller, I probably wouldn't complain, so long as I enjoy them. This is true. This is true.